Driftless Biker here. Just out on a little putt around the Driftless area. Thought I'd take you along for the ride, at least part of the day. Do a little scouting for a ride I got coming up here in about a month and a half, and just figured it'd be a good day to get out, enjoy the sun, a little bit of sunshine, and log some miles in this beautiful Driftless region. I'm on Minnesota 43 right now, just north of Rushford, Minnesota, and I hope this is coming through because it is beautiful. If you haven't ridden the Driftless, I can't emphasize enough how much of a hidden gem it is. You know, everybody thinks of Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin and Illinois thinking, you know, a lot of flat, a lot of boring, which is true. There is a lot, but there's also some just tremendous beauty when you get into this little Driftless region. Oh, and some fantastic motorcycle roads, or hot rod car, you know, sports car. Some good twisting, canyony roads without the elevation that you get in the Rockies or the Smokies. Smokies don't have that much elevation either, I guess, but you know what I mean. Rolling my way up to Winona and then working my way up through Wisconsin to Red Wing, Minnesota, back down through Wabasha, Minnesota. Hit some good roads and hopefully having a good time. Hopefully you guys enjoy the ride. Some interesting roads again. Let's see what we see. So the Driftless region was missed in the last 3 ice ages. So it was not filled with glacial drift, hence the Driftless region. As a result, it's got this deeply scored and scoured area of steep bluffs, rocky outcroppings, deep valleys, tree-lined bluffs, tree-lined hills. It really has a mountain feel to it, but the peak elevations typically are in the 1,300 foot range. Low elevations, when you get down towards the Mississippi or the rivers, is usually in the 700, 800 foot range, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, depending on the river, depending on where you're at. And you get views like this. I mean, what do you say? You get roads like this that just sort of wind their way down. Traffic or not, they're still beautiful. And I've been blessed. I've had the opportunity to ride all over in the United States, Canada, Alaska, and I love traveling. Don't get me wrong there. I absolutely love traveling. If I could do it full time, I would. If I could find a way to pay my bills and be on the road 300 plus days a year, I'd be on the road 300 plus days a year. It was around this point that I started having significant technical challenges with my audio recording portion of my setup. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying close enough attention and didn't realize until well into the winter months that my microphone was not working consistently. So we're going to have a little bit more music backdrop for a while as I get caught up and back to roughly mid-spring when I replaced the component that had failed. The rides that you're seeing here are primarily southeast Minnesota, west central-ish Wisconsin. If you took a line from Red Wing, Minnesota going east and one from Winona, Minnesota, going east, roughly with an eastern boundary. If you went on north-south axis to Arcadia, roughly, that's where the majority of this is either in, from Minnesota 43 going east to with Arcadia being the eastern border, roughly. Some fantastic roads in this. We had our fall leaf ride up in here, and there's some scouting rides and that actual ride kind of lumped into this video. It covers actually about 2 months. After we got back from the Alaska trip, I was pretty beat up. Frankly, the shoulder injury was significantly worse than I really let on in the earlier videos. And between that and just absolute garbage weather on the weekends after we got back, I didn't ride a lot for a while. And so this video actually is going to time warp us all the way from the end of July when we got back from Alaska all the way through the middle of October. See, it's covering a lot of time, but relatively limited riding. Some really good roads in here, though, and some fantastic scenery. This is really the Driftless that I love, and I hope they can convey a certain amount of that through the video, and we'll have more audio as time goes on, especially when we get into the new videos from this spring. All right, hopefully you're enjoying it, and enjoy some music and just some nice video for a bit. I've lived the majority of my life in Bluffton Township. Now, Bluffton isn't a town. A village at best. There's one bar, 2 campgrounds, and some fantastic people. No churches in the village itself. There's a country church not far from there that's been closed for years. There used to be a church in town that was falling down, so they took it down a few years ago. But this is home. And this is no glacial drift. Kayak, canoe, inner tube, cattle tanking. Not something I've done, but it looks pretty cool. We're kayakers, myself and my wife. Wow, that was bad grammar, Troy. My wife and myself. And my family. And this is what's called the Driftless thing. No glacial drift filled this valley. So this valley is ancient seafloor. So up there's where we came. For you dirt dads out there, adventure boys, however you want to call it. We've got roads like this with views like this. Yeah, pavement ends. We're getting into the gravel and dirt. Okay, just gravel. It's a good gravel. Wrought iron bridge, beautiful cliff, the fall colors popping. Crystal clear water. It looks dirty. It's not. The bottom of this river is dark colored, and as a result, it's not a lot of sand, so it doesn't have that blue that you think of for most water. It's got more of a greenish, mossy color to it. But you get on it and it is crystal clear most of the time. If we have storms and stuff, it'll mud up then, but for the most part it stays clear. ADV bros, dirt dads, whatever you want to call yourselves. This is home for me. And you're just along for the ride today. I've had people ask why I ride an adventure bike instead of a cruiser or sport tour. I had a cruiser. Still do. Had a sport tour for a time. Missed that bike, but where I live, I've got this adventure tour or dirt bike, enduro bike is the best possible solution for here, because it opens up all of these back roads and gravel roads that most people do not want to take a cruiser down. I've ridden cruiser on them. It's doable. It's not a horrible thing. I by far prefer this. It's made for it. It can handle it better. It's more comfortable doing it.